Welcome to the Don't Tell Me About Yourself podcast. We are in Savannah, Georgia at Hotel Bardot for Talent Sphere 2026. Here with Natalie Stones, the co-founder of Talent Collective. And we're going to talk a little bit about why this event is here. And we've only been here for a few hours, and it's already one of the coolest things I've ever done. Natalie, can you tell us a little bit about the event and why you decided to put something like this on?
I'd love to. Well, so Talent Collective is our global community for women in talent acquisition. And we put on a lot of networking events and TA leader dinners and a bunch of events across different chapters in the US. But I really wanted something bigger last year, something that we could actually bring men and women to and have it be more like retreat meets conference style experience. Because as we know, like there is a time and place for the transforms, the HR techs, et cetera, which I go to and I love all of those. But I also often a couple times a year really look forward to like getting together with other practitioners in a like more low key setting. So that's kind of how this concept came to be. We wanted something bigger. We did it in Phoenix, Arizona at the Scott Resort last year. And so we decided to do it here on the East Coast to try to capture, come to some practitioners that are on this side of the coast. So that's kind of how it came to be. I wanted to create something that I would have wanted to go to, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
That it already existed somewhere.
Right. So. Can you tell us what goes into planning something like this? It's your second year doing it, right? Mm-hmm. What goes into it?
It's a lot of pre-planning. The most important parts for me that take the most time is vetting and finding the right venue. I also have very high expectations in my normal life.
A woman with taste.
Until I can find the right vibe and layout and everything, then nothing else is happening or planning. So it took me probably a good 3-4 months to find this location, which is so adorable.
Well, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Look around. This is insane. If you're not watching on video, you need to be because it's gorgeous here.
So that's kind of the first thing. Then I really like to focus on building out the tracks where one is always practitioner-led. I really want to give people that are doing the job an opportunity to sit in the seat and actually share that knowledge capital. I feel like at many other conferences, it's a lot of influencers or people that did the job like 10 years ago and are still talking about what they think is going on. So that was first and foremost. I want people that are doing the job and actually either consulting on a certain function of TA or they are TA leader or senior practitioner in the seat. So it's really about then building out the right 2 days full of content and sessions. And then sprinkled in and around all of that is, and by the way, I do build the sessions around people. So it's not usually like, oh, we want a session on candidate fraud. I'm going to go reach out to so-and-so on that. It's no, I really want this practitioner in particular because they speak so well to that topic or they really are an expert in that area. So the tracks end up becoming created based on who the people are that we land on.
That makes a ton of sense. So when you are looking for or thinking about who you would want, right? If you're starting with the person, what are some of the qualities or the things that stand out to you that make someone a possible candidate to be someone who speaks at one of these events?
A couple of things. One, it's really like, how much do they know the crux of whatever niche topic they're going to talk about? That's first and foremost. They have to be living and breathing that every day. The second is they don't have to be an experienced speaker. I love that this year we have probably a third of our speakers. This is the first time, maybe only the second time that they've ever spoke. But this is also a great safe space where they can kind of try out, where you can be the guinea pigs of not having perfection in how they deliver their presentation or the workshop or whatnot. But so what? It's supposed to feel like peers and like, oh, I'm sitting with my team of recruiters or whatnot. So those are kind of the two only thing. And obviously, are you, charismatic and present well and things like that. But that's kind of.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And absolutely. I think it's really cool that you're giving people the opportunity who haven't, because personally, and I love a lot of the conferences that you've talked about, I do feel like I see the same big names and the same faces. And it's refreshing to have it where it's people that are maybe not as well known, and I might not know their talk track as much, and they might bring me something fresh. So I really, really love that, because I noticed that about your agenda in particular. One of our favorite things, and I'll share this, is that you've also brought in like different experiences and more of a wellness component. So talk to us about that. Like, just to give everyone a preview, last night we went on a historical walking tour and a food tour. It was amazing. This morning we were up and doing a yoga class. So already we've gotten to experience some of those fun things. But how did you come to wanting to incorporate that wellness component? And then how do you go about figuring out what you want to include?
It's dependent on the city in terms of what I like to include, but it kind of goes back to like our tagline, which is retreat meets conference. The retreat part, I don't want it to just be a treat. Like, I'm not a kumbaya person. Like, let's sit around and like talk about our feelings. And nobody's company is going to pay for them to come if it's just a retreat, right? And so I want to make it also reasonable where these practitioners can actually justify being away for 3 days. They're actually going to like go to possibly 8 to 10 sessions, but then kind of on the downtime outside of those business hours, they're doing yoga, they're doing cocktail receptions. Tomorrow we have an indulgence club where you can get vitamin
B12, was it?
shots, and you can make aromatherapy balls, whatever, all the things.
Yeah.
So
it is really cool. And the thought of coming to a conference and leaving refreshed, I was like, that sounds amazing. I was telling my husband and some family members like what I was doing this week. And I told them, I was like, it was obviously created by a very thoughtful woman. And so I was telling them about the agenda, and he's like, oh, that sounds so hard. And I'm like, it's going to be so amazing. So
it's not meant to be hard.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't have to be hard to make it work. Right. And already the sessions that we've been in today, I just love so much that there are so many brilliant people that are coming together. It's not just about the presenters that are standing up front. Everyone, it's a smaller curated group of people who are comfortable in their space and were able to contribute to the conversations that we were having with the presenters. And it's like, we're all sharing ideas here. We're all growing together. And to leave refreshed is a really novel concept for a conference.
Yeah, like, why not?
Why not? And why is it taken so long?
My feet are not going to hurt.
Right.
From walking Vegas floors.
And can we just talk
I'm
about
actually outside breathing real air.
We are outside in this beautiful setting. And also, just one thing I would just like to comment on in general, thank God that heels have just gone to the wayside for us. I'm happy to see every single person here is wearing a sneaker, a flat, wear what you want, be comfortable. If heels are what you love, by all means wear them. But it's so nice that that's like not the norm anymore. And I also love that everyone's like super comfortable. Like, sometimes in these big stuffy conference venues, like you're breathing recycled air, everyone's like kind of more dressed up, more stiff, and like you can just be yourself and be comfortable. How was this event? I'm just curious, being that you're on the East Coast, last time was the West Coast, but how has this one been different than your last one? What have been maybe the major differences? Or
the biggest thing I think is the size. It is smaller, more intimate. We have about 90 people this time. And what I'm excited about that is at the last one, everybody was able to make lots of connections. But in this case, it's smaller amount of people that you'll be able to make more connections with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Also, we have a very small handful of sponsors. We have Find'em, MetaView, Ashby, Workable, and CoderPad.
Yeah.
And each one of them also are leading a session. They're not doing demos and pitching their tool, but they're actually leading panels on like the pain points that they solve for. So that was different than last year. Our sponsor vendors are intentionally woven into the agenda.
Yeah.
There's a whole, I call it the solution session track. That was very important to me. So those are probably the two biggest things.
Yeah, differences. Love that. Yeah. If someone was thinking about going to an event, like, and maybe they only have a budget to go to one or two, what do you think so connections, I heard, obviously, right? Location and the retreat, like, difference, but like, if they are pitching, because a lot of times we have people being like, oh, employers will pay for you to go to those places. We're like, yeah. Like, what would you say is like the sort of elevator pitch for TalentSphere that they could use to get their company to sponsor them at TalentSphere 2027? Because we want that to happen.
Okay. Day one, here we are.
Yeah, just already asking for next year. Sorry.
The business case is you are going to walk away having an opportunity to go to 8 to 10 different training sessions, whether it's learning from a vendor who actually like helps build these processes and tools, or from practitioners, you're actually doing working sessions. So it's more of a training like setup where you're walking with playbooks, or you're like in a session auditing and thinking about your own employer brand or recruitment marketing strategy. So you're not just sitting in sessions listening.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now what do I do with this in practice? So that's the biggest thing. The second is it's great for teams where it could be the TA leader and a couple of team members where it's smaller and they're like learning collaboratively together.
Right.
That's a lot harder to do in a bigger conference. It's kind of like divide and conquer, and you go to that dinner and this session or whatever. So it's great for teams, and it's really geared for senior practitioners up to TA leader. So those that have really been like sitting in the seat for a while and or leading a team or strategic oversight. And the last is this year we actually priced it where the hotel room was bundled in with the ticket price. So it just made it like no brainer.
Yeah.
You know, here, boss, it's $1,500. It's not only always going to be that, depends on the venue.
Sure.
But here's what the cost is.
Yeah.
All I have to do is just buy flights on top of that. So
Like an all-inclusive.
yes.
Yes, all-inclusive. You mentioned the thing about like the takeaways and having actual training sessions. I wanted to point out something that was in our swag bag that Lauren and I instantly clocked and loved is you gave out these little notebooks that had pages for each session. So thoughtful.
Yeah.
Because you take in so much in these types of conferences. You walk away and sometimes your brain is like, maybe you can have 2 or 3 things that you recall, but it can be hard. But setting people up with those notebooks, we just thought that was such a cool idea. I haven't seen that at some larger conferences, and I thought that was really creative and really cool.
Yeah.
And I already saw, I was getting the debrief from the keynote earlier today, and I was like, oh, tell me about it. And she pulled out her notebook and she had notes written down. So just wanted to shout that out because that was a really cool add-on.
Yeah, the intentional planning here. Yesterday when Victoria got our welcome bags, we started pawing through it and we were so excited.
Well fed.
I know, but it's it's organic, like delicious food. Yeah. I'm drinking a calm, like natural melon cucumber drink. Yes, the notebooks and the food and the drinks, there was caffeine in there for people who needed it. Everything is so thoughtful and you can tell it's like so well planned out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I intentionally with that swag. So I also am head of events for Find'em, which is a TA technology company. Mm-hmm. So I'm always, having to think of the swag at the booth and whatever. Everybody does the same thing, water bottles or notebooks with blank pages inside. I intentionally did not want that as swag here. I want people to be well fed. I'm always hungry when I go to these things. I am looking for my next coffee.
Yes.
I thought, ashwagandha is like the latest trendy word. So let's get some drinks with ashwagandha.
That's amazing.
So it's intentionally meant to be stuff that like you can enjoy while you're here and then you're done with it.
Right.
You're not going to have to have an extra water bottle in your cabinet.
Extra waste. This morning we woke up for yoga. The first thing I did was pull out that delicious granola bar. And I was just like, oh God, I didn't have to go downstairs and with my eyes barely open to find something to eat so I didn't barf at yoga or something. It's just like, you're
good.
Right. You absolutely nailed it. And it just shows the thoughtfulness that goes into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add about TalentSphere 2026? Hopes and dreams to come? Anything like that?
Hopes and dreams to come. Just light fare.
Yeah. I hope that everybody just has an amazing experience, makes a lot of new connections. One of the most beautiful things about Talent Collective, the community itself, is so many people have gone into business together. They have hired each other. We have TA leaders that have hired recruiters within the community or
really
consultants. So I hope some of those connections can happen here as well organically. And I do hope to do a 2027.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll be supporting that.
We need some, sponsor love and support in that regard.
Sponsors, you would be, by coming here and sponsoring this, like you would not regret it. It's amazing. So yes, we would love to see that. And we would love for it to happen. I just want to say thank you for putting on an event like this because we are so grateful to experience just the variety. I think it's nice to have something that isn't the same. Those are great for the reasons that they're great for. And this is in its own way great. So thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
And we're so excited for the next day and a half. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I feel like I'm already sad it's over.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I wanted to go on. I'm like, no, like every hour that ticks by, which means you're having fun, right? And you're having a good experience and you're learning. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.